to be about you, but questions about relationships in general. And I'll just give my uncle wisdom, like or big brother wisdom. It's mainly for the chat, but if you have questions yourself, then do you get me? We all the way lit. Alright, so we're waiting for question number one.
Yes. Question number one, yeah. What would you say is a good amount of time to wait, like from that talking with a girl before you say let's date?
Dating as in like girlfriend and boyfriend?
Yeah.
Alright, chat. So the question is, what's a good amount of time to wait after you've been talking to a girl? When do you make it official? When do you make her your girlfriend? That's the question. First question of the day. This is a good question. And it's hard to answer this question.
It's a bit subjective.
It's a little bit subjective. Like, because it depends on the situation. I'm of the frame of mind, yeah, that in general, when a girl's your girlfriend, or a boy's your boyfriend, whatever it is, I'm of the frame of mind that you should be in that relationship going towards something. Ideally marriage, right? So you should be dating to marry. If you're just gonna be doing a thing, or you're not gonna make her your life partner, you ain't gonna get married. But the point is, like, it's for something in the future, right? If you're not gonna like make her that or make him that, then no need to get good girlfriend and boyfriend, really. So the purpose of girlfriend and boyfriend for me is the first stepping stone into commitment, right? Because you're committing, you're making it exclusive. You're saying it's just me and you. I'm not going to be doing things with anyone else, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, what's the timeline on that? Well, after you've gone on anywhere between 2 to about 10 dates. So it's not necessarily time, right? It's not necessarily like, oh, after like 5 months.
You might know after the first day.
Right? It's more like at least 2 dates, and I say a maximum of 10. Because at that point, you're just spending money for the banter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, you're just spending money for the banter. So, and like, if you don't know after 10 dates, bruh, just next. Swipe right, boy.
Probably not the right one.
It ain't the right one, just swipe right. So, it's a case of like this. Yeah, this is the hill I'm saying that you should run up, bro. See how steep it is? Just from there, run up to here, walk down, you're gone. Anyway, to answer the question, anywhere from 2 to 10 dates. And you should be really asking, on the second date, you should already be asking, like,
Wow, yeah.
Like, how do you see, like, this is a good question for next if you want to ask it, but it's like, what's your ideal relationship? What are your values? Do you have any religions? What do you see your future? Do you want to get married? Do you not want to get married? Do you want to have kids? I mean, the first date should be fun. I used to say, do that on the first date, but actually, nah. The first date should just be about creating a memory. Should be something fun. Second date, then you can get into some of those nitty gritties. Because if you can't have fun with a person, or if you haven't created a positive memory, then there's no pullback for you to want to spend time with this person again, really. But a dinner date is not ideal. Taking a girl out for dinner for a first date is not ideal. Should be an event, should be going to a gallery, should be going pool, something fun.
Something active, right?
Yeah. Something in public space as well. You know? So yeah. That's the answer to that question. Anywhere between 2 to 10 dates. And me, by date 5, I'm probably dropping it because I like to strike when the iron's hot. If I know that she wants future, I know that she wants a what I'm saying?
For me, it's actually I think it was date 2. After date 2, that's what happened.
After day 2, I mean, yeah, that's not a bad thing. I feel like in some,
because of what happened in between, there was a bit of time, but I feel like that's why it's subjective. Because like, anything can happen in between that time between date 1 to 10.
yeah, because you're talking. Hopefully, you're FaceTiming. Hopefully,
Yeah, so like,
there might be other interactions. Hopefully, so yeah. But me, I like to strike with the irons hot because I'm like, yo, if I'm a man, I'm leading a relationship. This house gonna go type thing, and I ain't trying to play around. As long as I know that she's serious and she wants the same things and has similar values, those things align, then no need to waste time, just move on. All right, Ben, that's a good question, man. Question number 2.
Question number 2.
Yeah, man, don't worry, this ain't PG. This one could be anything.
I know, I'm just thinking of.
This stream ain't PG. I'm putting it out there for you lot.
Question that's kind of valid to us. I guess like, what's like, yeah, this is probably a sticky question actually. See, when you think of like, what's your opinion of like girl best friends and boy best friends? What's your opinion of like girl best friends?
Oops. Wait, hold on, let me mute my team.
Oops. See the chat?
Yeah.
You can't see the chat on that?
No, I can, but I'm just checking. You guys got to check, like, chat's working and that. You know what I'm saying? That's you, brother.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you got to check that everything working, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so your question was, what did you say? Repeat your
What's
question.
your opinion of girl best friends and boy best friends?
Alright. Here we go.
Probably you can talk about that for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so the question, chat, is, should your girlfriend or should your significant other have a best friend of the opposite sex? That's basically the question. Should your significant other have a bestie of the opposite sex? Alright, here's J-Dot's take on this. If you are serious about the person you're with, the short answer is hell no to the no, no, no. That is the short answer, right? It's not to say that such thing as opposite sex relationships don't exist, but the truth is, more often than not, at least one of them people in that relationship would, if given a chance, be in a sexual relationship with the other person. So it goes both ways. Sometimes the girl gets friend zoned, sometimes the boy gets friend zoned. Somebody is friend zoned for sure, right? Or you just might be too ugly to be taken into consideration, which is why you're just a friend. That's why you're you're just a cool friend. But it's not to say anything that you was going to that female best friend for or that male best friend for, your man or your female should be replacing that.
I think also they should be your best friend.
Well, it's not that they should be your best friend, because there's some things a man shouldn't say to a woman, and there's some things a woman shouldn't say to a man, that's for sure. But in the sense that your confidant for most things should now be the person that you're with, right? And maybe you might be having some questions like, oh, I want to get her a ring or I want to plan a date. Some guys like are not very good at that, so they might need some advice. But in general,
But I think also it has to be her friend. Your girl best friend. Like, what I would say the problem with that is like your girl best friend might not like your girl.
yeah, there's just too many complications. There's just too many complications. So the second you're in a relationship, if you're serious, put it this way, if a girl has got If a girl's got bare male friends or even too many males in her life, I'm out of there, bro. I'm out of there. Even if she cut them off, I'm out of there. Like, that for me is red flag. Because it's like, there's certain validations that she's receiving, and that's fine. Go receive your validations. Vice versa, if a man's got loads of female best friends, right, more often than not, he's validating someone else. So you be dating a guy that's validating all these other females and probably taking them out on play dates, spending your money and resources. So a girl won't want a man that's giving his resources away to another female. Period. And a man ain't gonna want a woman who's receiving attention and affection from other men and not giving that energy to him. So the long story short of that one is, out of there. That was a good question, though. That was a good question.
Guess number 3 is then what should a guy not be saying to the girl?
Oh, all right, cool. So this is a good question. What should a guy not be saying to a girl? As in, like, your significant other.
Yeah.
So as a man, okay, the only things in the world that are loved unconditionally are babies, cats and dogs, pets, and women. A man in every scenario is only judged by what he's able to provide, the value that he provides. And it's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate. But that's just the metric that the world has placed upon men, and this is what it is. Like, we can't really escape from it. There's no point crying about it too much because it's just GG's. So the reason why I say that's the context for what a man shouldn't say to a woman. Obviously, a woman wants a man to be vulnerable. This is what they say. But very rarely, what they say is what they mean. They want you to be emotionally available, as in emotionally mature, as in able to control himself, to be stoic, composed in face of adversity, right? When she's going crazy, he's calm. He's the calm in the storm. That's what actually they mean by emotional availability. To be able to listen to her go crazy and not belittle her, but validate her emotions, you know? And actually, well, technically, we need to bust this right. Technically. Yeah, so that's what she means, really. What she don't mean is crying on the shoulder, telling, oh, I had such a bad day at work, complaining about doing hard stuff. No one gives a crap. I'm going to give you this hard lesson, man.
Listening.
No one gives a crap,
So
especially a woman.
saying that to you, then?
His brethren. You go and cry to your brother. You go call your brother and cry. You go call your bestie and cry. You do not call your wife and cry. It's not to say that you shouldn't cry in front of your woman. If your husband, if your mother passes, or if there's a death in the family, you know, fair enough. Yeah, you know, like, that's, you're human, right? You're not bulletproof. But I'm talking about coming home from work and complaining to your wife. Then they don't care. And actually, it just shows that you're weak. It just shows that you can't handle the situations of life. She's with you because she wants you to be able, she thinks that you're able to handle that, to provide that protection. So if you're complaining to her every single day, or you're crying about this is hard, that's hard, all you're showing is that you're weak and you can't provide. So that means your value is being diminished. You think that you're trying to connect with her, but unfortunately, they're not able to separate. And I'm generalizing here, so that don't take offense, women. I'm generalizing here, but they're not able to separate that. So as a man, I'm not saying hide your emotions from your woman. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that there will be consequences, right, for everything. And if you want to be perceived in a certain way, then you behave in one way. And if you want to be perceived in a certain way, you behave in another. So cry to your boys, cry to your brother. Go speak to your dad if you have a good dad in your life, or if you have a good older brother in your life, or good friends. But don't cry to your woman. And that's what I mean. I mean complaining, I mean whining, I mean things that a young boy does, right? These are things that a young boy does, comes home and complains and whines to his mum. No, a man shouldn't be doing that, because a man, he needs to handle the world. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but he needs to be able to handle the world. So that's why there's certain things you can't say to your wife. As much as you love her and as much as she loves you, she's looking at you for something and you're looking at her for something, right? So that's just the game on that one. It's a bit of a controversial opinion, I know, but if you think about it long enough, I think you'll see the logic. So just deal with that as you will, chat. Yeah, I told you this is gonna be like, this ain't a PG stream, chat, so it's GG's. Great questions. Do you have another question, sir?
Should you work out with your partner?
This is a great question. Should you work out with your partner? I think that's amazing if you're able to do anything. So I'll give you an example. There's 3 types of relationships, chat. Can you see me because of the sun? The sun's behind us. You probably can't even see us. Yeah, we dark skinned brothers. But yeah, it's all good. We're not gonna do the super long one today, but we can just bust this left. Super long one would be on the highway, but we ain't gotta do that today. See how you feel doing the short one, and if you wanna join me on my next walk, then you can.
I mean, this is a part of my run route anyway.
Yeah, well, we're on 1.5k, so it's not that bad. We'll just walk straight all the way down to Tesco from here, basically. So the question was, should you work out with your partner? Great question. So I'll give you the context of my answer so you can understand the logic. 3 types of relationships, y'all. 3 types. There is a relationship where both partners are pushing forward. There's a relationship where both partners are being lazy and are in the bedrock. And there's a third relationship where one partner is moving forward and one partner is on the bedrock. The worst relationship is when one partner wants to move forward and one partner is on the bedrock. That relationship always is going to end. Doesn't matter who's who, because one person wants to improve themselves, develop themselves, whereas the other person has been stagnant and not moving forward and bringing the other person down, probably, right? Oh, can we go here? Can we go there? Oh, I'm too lazy. I want to chill. I just want to vibes. I'm a homebody. When you have 2 homebodies, when you have 2 lazy people or 2 people that just want to they're happy with where they are in life, they're comfortable, they don't really want to do much, that's fine. Because you won't be doing much together, right? You'll be lazy together, you'll be homebodies together, that's fine. And if you have 2 partners where both partners want to develop themselves, both partners want to push themselves, push their finances, push their careers, push their health, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, beautiful. Because then you have 2 people that's encourage. You always got a partner to encourage you then. You're never on your own. It's always you and that person against the world. Great place to be honest with you. If you have that partnership, treasure it. So in short, should I work out with my partner? Amazing. If you can encourage your partner to work out with you and develop themselves and improve themselves, and they obviously now they'll start to see results and they'll start to help encourage you to hit gym and eat cleaner, and you'll just live better lives. You'll live longer. Your sex drive will come up because you'll be feeling more confident, you know? You'll be eating good, you'll be healthier. So all these things are plus. Obviously, not every single workout you'll be able to do together because there's differences in the anatomy. and also differences in parts of the body that you want to improve. But in general, if it's like, yeah, in general, exercising together, wonderful. Yeah, love that. I'm all for that. W chat.
Uh,
Great question.
what do you do if that's an interesting question. What do you do if your partner's parents don't like you?
Great one.
So I was interested in your take on that.
So yeah, in-laws, in-laws, yeah, have forever, in-laws have forever been a problem. Okay, uh, and if her parent, and I think it's slightly different if it's a man or if it's a woman. So I'll give you the different takes. If you're a man and your partner's parents don't like you, there's two things. One is you should probably evaluate yourself and find out what it is that they don't like about you. Sometimes it might just be a racial thing. Sometimes it might just be like a racial thing, like, yo, you know, you Chinese, I don't like you. You black, I don't like you. You know, you're white, I don't like you. There ain't nothing you can do about that, right? So if it's like something like that, then yeah, you can't do nothing. But if it's a scenario where maybe it's how you dress, maybe it's how you talk, maybe it's like the way that you present yourself, or maybe you're not goal orientated, like I said, maybe you're lazy, and they're a bit worried that you're not going to be able to provide for their daughter. Those are things you can change. So that's what I mean by evaluate yourself, because it's actually an opportunity to see, is there something about me that I can improve? Is there something about me that I can develop? You know? So I would really sit down with the father or the parents or the mom or whatever and just like, you know, have an honest convo. Like, hey, I'm sure I understand that you guys don't really approve of me. Just for my own self-development, I would like to know what areas are you feeling that I'm lacking in that make you don't feel comfortable with me being with your daughter. And, you know, you take it with a pinch of salt because they ain't Jesus. But still, they've obviously seen something that they don't like, and that might be like something, an area that you can develop. So yeah, for a man, it's two things. One, it might be something that you can't change and it's just GG's. And to be honest with you, that shit is what it is. Or it might be something that you can develop and then you can develop that thing. The last thing I'll say, if you're the man, is to not give a crap. That's the third option. If the girl's happy, if she's taken care of, if her bills are being paid, you're taking care of business, you're not beating her, you're not abusing her, she wants to be with you, at that point, you need to be a man and take your woman. Simple. Don't let anyone come in a relationship. Obviously, best case scenario, or is it left and right? Best case scenario, they love you, but if they don't love you and you don't want to leave this woman because of that, then go get your girl, man. She ain't gonna be with her parents for the rest of her life. Her parents are gonna die. That could be the mother of your kids. So in that sense, I would say fight for it. But you obviously need to use your discernment and think whether this is something that is worth fighting for. Do I want to always have this constant relationship with in-laws? Is that worth it? Like, going back to her house always going to be a bit awkward and all of that. So you got to think about the future, but at the same time, you're a man. You're meant to pave your way in this world. So if that's your girl, go get your girl. Now, it's slightly different if you're a woman. I would, as a woman, You probably like it's tough. Like I'm not saying that women shouldn't self-develop, but the truth is, if their family don't like you, there's probably loads of reasons, but the main one is that they probably don't think you're good enough, and there's probably not much you can do to change that. There probably won't be much you can do to change that because it'll be very likely be a judgment thing, but they've made a judgment. So similarly, the only thing you can really do is be the best woman that you can be for your man. Take care of him, love him, nurture him, and give him the battery pack that he needs to be able to go out into the world and be the best man he can be. There's not really much else you can do. Would I suggest starting a conversation with the parents?
It depends on the race.
It really does depend on, yeah, that's a good point. It depends on the race, but I feel like, sometimes women are unfairly judged, especially if you look like you have a past or whatever. So there might not be much you can do to change that other than being a great woman. And again, I wouldn't let anybody take your man from you if that's your guy and he's willing to fight. But again, you would need to be like, is it going to be worth it? The in-laws don't like me. Family gatherings, blah, 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 right? So it's a tough one again, but it's more difficult. I would say it's more difficult if the in-laws don't like the woman, because it's really down to the man at that point. There's not much you can do other than being the best woman that you can be, because that's going to be a harder road, and for women to not be accepted into the social setting is more difficult to handle. So again, like, really think about that one. But that's a great question, actually.
So is there any world where like way together?
Yeah, yes. There's scenarios, but this is what I would say. This is what I would say. This is what I would say. Yeah, there's some part there. This is what I would say, yeah. So the question is there any scenario where it's valid to elope, basically, to run away, to, even if you haven't got the parents' approval, to just go into the distance, go Vegas and get married or whatever, right?
Where they got alone.
Right? So that's the question. The answer, a little bit difficult. So on the one hand, right, as the man, if you elope, you have to realize that you're removing, that's why it's objective. You're removing that woman from her family. Like, there's no family gatherings. In your wedding, it's probably just you two and a couple friends. Like, all the things that she knew, like, she's gonna have to be away from that. Which is the opposite of providing, right? Unless you provide so much value that it can make up for that scenario. But, you really need to make sure that you both are not going to regret it, because it's one of them ones where it's like, oh, I left my family for you. I left my this for you. I left my that for you, That's when things get a bit messy. From the guy's side, again, the guy's always meant to leave. The guy's always meant to be independent. But also, he's got a responsibility for his family as well. That means that, you know, again, you're going to be you're going to be leaving your family. So I just think that you need to really, you don't live for your family, so you need to make your own decision. But you just need to think about that one, because you can't have any resentment. Resentment will kill the relationship further down the line. So I would only ever do that if I know that what I'm providing, the value is high enough for the sacrifice. Or let's say it's a scenario where they're just like, oh, I don't like you because you're black. What can you do about that, right? I can't change my skin color. Oh, I can't change that, right? So maybe in a scenario like this, you could think about eloping. And once the family sees how well you're doing, how much in love you guys are, the children that you might, you know, bring into the world, maybe they might come around, but maybe they might not. So you need to just think about that one. That's a bit difficult. So that's my answer to that question. I feel like you really need to weigh out the pros and cons.
Oh, next question.
Yeah.
What's the right age to get married? Subjective, but still.
So this is a good question. I believe you should get married as young as possible. As young as possible. But it's different for men and different for women. As a woman, if you found the right man and all the boxes are ticked and you know there's security, then there's no better fish in the sea, you know. Women sometimes are always looking for the next best, you know. If he's already ticking all of the boxes, you know how rare that is. So it's like, don't lose a good one because you think you can get better. The grass usually ain't greener. And you also got to think like, there's someone better. You better usually means more money, realistically. You know, may perceive you at even lower value than the person that you got right now, which means maybe that person who's better will probably cheat on you or not treat you with respect, look down on you and your family, etc. So you really got to take that in, like, you know, you got to think about that one. Now for the man, again, as soon as possible, but as soon as possible means I am responsible for myself. I can take care of my own bills. I can take care of, you know, my own expenses. And I can take care of someone else's expenses and bills. I'm not saying that you got to pay all your wife's bills, etc. But, you know, if we're talking about traditional marriage here, like there's obviously loads of different types of marriages, right? And 50-50 and all this, Gen Z, all of that. But as a man, and you're asking for my opinion, so as a man, you need to be able to financially support yourself, be responsible for yourself, and have enough to be responsible for somebody else. And I think what it takes to do that potentially would mean that you're emotionally mature enough and have enough experience in life to be able to lead that relationship and not lead it to the ground. So I think we're getting married too late. I think we're having kids too late. I think that we should get married as soon as possible and enjoy that period from 25 to 30 where it's just you and your significant other, like a good 5 years with no kids, you know what I mean? Like just being a married couple. And then you can make that choice whether you want to have kids, etc. But But I feel like we're leaving it too late now, and we haven't really got the time or energy to do certain things, and certain things feel rushed or forced because of just time or biology, you know. And your prime years shouldn't be about being a hoe. Like your prime, that goes for both ways. Your prime years should be with the woman or man of your life. Give them your prime years. Don't give it to the streets. You know what I mean? Like, because you're going to change. You're going to grow old. And your prime years was wasted out fishing. And the person you end up settling with, because you feel like you're running out of time, you know, gets the almost expiry date version of you. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that. If you have a young married couple, yeah, the sex will be crazy and the intimacy will be crazy and the development potential is crazy. And you will really know this person. And you won't have known so many other people that you'll be looking left and right thinking grass is greener. So that's my 2 cents on that. That's a good question.
How high body count is too high?
All right, so I'm gonna give you some science. It's gonna seem unfair. This question gonna seem unfair, but it's about biology and science. So mathematically, statistically, when a woman has had more than 5 partners, the percentage that she will get divorced goes up by like 30%. So if she's had more than 5, there's a bonding process that happens when a woman makes love with a male, penetrative sex I'm talking about. And after 5, that thing just stops being as effective now. Basically what it means is that you become numb to it, is the long story short of it. And statistically the divorce rates are significantly higher. And the ability to actually bond with the partner way lower. So for a woman, my suggestion is to keep it under 5, right? If it's possible, because it's just medically, biologically, it's different for females. We're bred differently, and you actually retain every single DNA of every man that's been inside you. I don't know if you knew this, but you retain every single DNA. So they're physically leaving something with you forever. Mad thing. Now for a guy, to be honest with you, for a guy, I wouldn't go much higher than 5 or 10. You know, there's some guys out here with body counts in the hundreds. Like, I don't really think that does a man that many favors. I don't think it does that, there's a symbolism status, but I don't think it does him many favors. Because how do you view women if you slept with hundreds of women? You know what I mean? And then let's say you find the one, would you even know how to handle that in a sensitive manner? And let's say she's a virgin or she's only had 1 or 2. How are you even gonna navigate that scenario when you've had hundreds of women? Like, a man is definitely meant to be more experienced, and I'm not saying that you should both be in there as virgins. I don't think you should. I think the man should have more experience for sure, but I don't really think it's more than 10, to be honest with you. Because by that time, by the 5 to 10 mark, let's say these are not flings, these are like not relationships but situationships, right? You would have experienced enough different women. You would have experienced enough different women to know what you're doing in the bedroom, to know how to please a woman, to know how to please yourself, to be able to lead that scenario, to be comfortable, leading the bedroom, and how to initiate sex, the different, some girls, they need clitoral engagement. Some girls can do it by penetrative sex. So like, you would have experienced enough variety, hopefully, that you're competent, and that's pretty much all that's necessary. I think anything outside of that is like unnecessary, and a man shouldn't be sowing his seed in so many places, because every time you come anywhere, you're losing life force, right? So you also need to be careful where you're giving out your life force. 200, like triple digits. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Even 50 is outrageous, to be honest. So I feel like if you're trying to settle down at some point, as a man, probably shouldn't be more than 10. And if you're a woman and trying to settle down, shouldn't be more than 5. Hopefully 3, max. That would be my answer to that question. And that's a good question. That one is probably going to be a controversial one for the clip. But yeah, we all the way lit. Do you have another question for us, sir? You've been giving us some good questions today.
What should be the age difference between your partner? What's the ideal age difference?
All right. There was some science on this. But realistically speaking, in general, these are very general. In general, the man should be older. In general, somewhere between 2 to 7 is like the sweet spot. I think, like, if there's a 10-year gap, and I know like marriages, really good marriages, where there's a 10-year gap. He's 60 and the woman's 50 right now. Like I said, there's benefits. But some of the benefits that the man think that they're getting, it's actually a little bit long day. When you have a girl that's a bit too young, like, the psychology doesn't necessarily match up unless she's really mature for her age. And also, maybe she might be too energetic for you in the bedroom and you can't keep up. So in the ideal scenario, the guy's like 3 years older than the girl. In the ideal scenario, between 3 and 7, like the sweet spot. On this age gap, like. But you know what's funny? Statistically, do you know what the most attractive age range is for women? This is a question. Have a guess. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah.
Like 40 or something.
50 plus, bro.
Yeah.
50 plus is the ideal like, they did a questionnaire, and 50 plus was the most attractive male. Can you imagine that? And this was across. They had this questionnaire from 18-year-olds all the way up to 50-year-olds. Wide selection of women, and the majority was 50 plus. So that's what you women are attracted to, which is quite interesting. And obviously vice versa, it was like 20, between 20 to, between 20 to 25, no, 20 to 28 or 20 to 25, I can't remember, for the ideal age for a woman. So yeah, statistically, men wanted women younger, and statistically, women wanted men older. So I feel like we are attracting what we want. I know people are like controversial, it's like grooming, Some scenarios are like that, for sure. Predatory, for sure. But this is also what both sides want. So I don't know why, if everyone's a consenting adult, I ain't really seeing a big deal with that, to be honest with you. And there's reasons behind it. Probably if the man is older, he's more established, he's got more connections, he's got more experience. and will give more value to a younger woman, and more likely that younger woman uh, has got more energy, hasn't been heartbroken so many times, is more hopeful, and more agreeable, and will probably show that guy more respect simply because he's older. And that's the main thing that men want, really, respect. And women want to be provided, protected, etc., etc., etc. So that's kind of where that lands.
What about like, it's a two-part question. Well, like the 1 year age gap, and also like because obviously you got like schools and stuff. So like, what about the 1 year age gap? And then also, what about like younger boy, younger girl, younger boy, and older girl? Say in 1 year age.
As in, like, so if the woman is older by 1 year,
Like, I feel like okay, yeah. I guess what I'm asking is like I've been in relationships where like I've been the older person, yeah. But I think probably the best relationship I've been in is where I was actually 1 year younger than the girl. But I don't really know why that is.
you talking about your most recent relationship?
Yeah.
No, that's your most recent relationship is always gonna be the best one. If you look back in your relationships, didn't it improve every time?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's less to do with like her age and more to do with just you have more resources, you're smarter, you can please her better. Of course the relationship is better because you're more experienced now. But in answer to your question, like there is a scenario where the woman is older, and it doesn't really matter if it's 1 year or if it's 5 years or 10 years. Like you look at Madonna's thing, Madonna like 50 something and dating like a 30-year-old or 28-year-old or something. All that's happening in that scenario is 100% the woman holding a more dominant position, most likely, whether that's financially or whether that is educationally. And that scenario is probably very beneficial. It's probably more beneficial for the man than it is for the woman. The woman is probably getting what she wants, which is a younger guy, but the man is definitely going to be having more access to resources or connections, or she can probably lead him to make more money quicker. So as a business partner standpoint would be obviously better, right? um, and probably the woman is more mature, so she's going to do less dumb stuff. And also, especially a woman who's close to her biological clock, she really ain't going to be playing around and will definitely prove to you that she wants to be with you, which is what you want. So there's benefits to obviously being with an older woman. I just don't know whether, it depends on what's your options. If that's your only option, then go for it. Type thing, right? You know what I mean? You can also, you kind of only can play the cards that you've been dealt type thing. So that's just GG's. We've got time for one last question before we hit Tesco, because I think Signal gonna go inside there.
Okay, do you believe in the 50-50 split?
Oh, okay, great question. So this last question is, do I believe in... And basically we're just talking purely financials here, right? So, well, there's reality, okay? There's reality. The truth is, any scenario where one person is paying for everything, that person has the majority of the control in a relationship, to some extent. And resentment will build because that person will feel like I own you. It will just come naturally because they're paying for everything, right? So if you say no to something and that person is paying everything, there's like some meme about the woman who's like, yo, what are you gonna do for that PS5, right? And then like the boy, like the grandma's like saying like, I just got my hip replaced, and blah, 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 blah. What are you trying to do for that new PS5, right? That's like the banter meme, right? And that's true. What are you going to do for that PS5? That is the question. So I think, obviously, I believe that men should take care of majority of things, but if a woman doesn't take care of some aspect of the house, whether it's groceries or whether it's not dates, but like I don't know, buying things and showing appreciation for the man, because you're gonna have so much spare income. If you're not paying for anything, you're gonna have so much spare income. So where does that income go, right? Do you invest that in something that the both partnership can benefit from? Like, I think that's the main question is like, yeah, okay, you don't split 50-50. The man may pay for all the bills of the house or the mortgage or pay for the majority of dates, but there should be some dates where you take him out. There should be like, if he wants a PS5, you should buy him a PS5. If you know that he wants some game, you should buy him some game. If you know that he's looking at some trainers, buy him the trainers or the watch. Or if he's looking at stocks, you should buy him them stocks or whatever it is, right? Don't be in a case of where you're a baby, right? And you just, someone is paying for everything and you're doing nothing in that scenario. Because sexual activity is still 50-50. Just because you're giving it up in the bedroom doesn't mean that the relationship is anywhere near fair. Because, just because you lay down doesn't mean he ain't laying on top type thing. There's two people having sex, right? It takes two people to do that. So that's not enough. You also need to show your appreciation monetarily as well. Even if, and to be honest with you, as a partnership, let's be real, like you're not gonna get any higher as a couple if you guys are not being smart. So if one person is taking care of the bills, the other person could be investing, using that money to invest in properties as a couple, using that money to invest in stocks as a couple. So I think you just need to be smart with it. If the other person is just literally just being frivolous and spending money on bags and like that doesn't make no sense. You could pay for the holidays and he pays for the dates and he pays for the mortgage in the house. There's ways you can not be 50-50, but also contribute. And I think that's how we're gonna end that scenario. It's been a great stream. Big dub. Appreciate y'all. Say goodbye to the
chat, man.
yeah, dope questions. It was a great stream. W's in the chat.